people. Let's say, one more time, come here. Again, this is what I was showing. I hope you got this. These guys have a 100%, these guys have 66%, or 33%. These guys don't have any chance of getting. What is this? They have stayed home. So what is that? That is not easy to find. Saying who's male. So let's say, come back here. Snap it. Choose this. Saying who's male versus who's female is easy. But being able to identify, this is a group of guys, there's a 100% chance, these guys have less chance of getting COVID, is something very, very useful, very, very helpful in the real world. We can help them in staying safe, we can help them in many other ways and things like that, guys. That is what is a data science. What is that? That's what is inside. In real world, that is very helpful. If you find that kind of knowledge, one more time. What is that? That's what companies need from you. Companies want those people who have idea how to work with the data and being able to find that kind of insights and knowledge. That is what they are looking for. That is what the market is about. And so what are we doing, guys? That is what is extracting knowledge from data. Come here. This is what we precisely mean by extracting knowledge from data. We have data. From data, we are trying to find the knowledge. What do we do with the knowledge? Generally, we use the knowledge to make a prediction. What is prediction? Imagine there's a cricket match tomorrow. You want to predict what Sachin or Virat is going to score. You can make a prediction. What can you do? From data, we can make the prediction. In real world, generally what do? We use a prediction to improve the business. Imagine you're into the world of stocks. What can you do? You can predict what is the stock price going to be. You can predict if a stock is going to increase or decrease, and what will that do? Well, that will improve the business. The objective of data science is not data. Data is important, but more importantly, it is to improve the business. Everybody with me, guys. Quick yes, please. Can you type in a quick yes? Go to the chat window. Great. Thank you, guys. Okay, so what is data, guys? You can think of data as a land. Data is a land. On the land, there's a lot of sand and soil. Anybody can find this sand in the soil. Very few people can find the gold in the land. What is special about the gold? Gold is hidden. Sand and soil, you can look at it and say this is sand and soil. It's like saying if you have a group of people saying who's male versus who's female is like identifying the sand and soil, that is data. But what is important, being able to identify who has more chances versus who has less chances of getting COVID. What is that? That is knowledge, that is gold. Okay? And what do we do? That is data science. What's happening today? Today, countries are using data analytics to fight corona in a similar way. What can you do? Well, believe in yourself. You have to learn these things to be in the market, to meet our goals and things like that of education and training and things like that, guys. So again, one more time, that is what companies are looking for here. Companies are looking for people who have an idea of how to work with that kind of techniques. What do data scientists do? Well, data scientists are working in businesses. Businesses have a lot of data. They're using a combination of skills. They're using a combination of skills of statistics, computer programming, databases, machine learning, mathematical modeling techniques, and they're trying to find the knowledge. They use a group of all these skills. Okay, what do? They find patterns. More importantly, they find hidden patterns. Okay, what is that? If you want to know the future, look at the past. What does that mean? Well, to understand the future, to predict the future, we can look at the past and we can try to predict the future. That is what is the meaning of that. That is what is predictive analytics, guys. That is what is machine learning. That is what is deep learning. They are the components. They are the heart of the artificial intelligence is what we can say. Okay. So let's go a little bit deep. We have taken a look at an example of one example. Let's also try to look at another example and try to understand. So what is happening today? Whether we go to shopping, whether we go to restaurant, whether we go to movies, books and travel, there are a lot of recommendations which are being shown to us. Whether it's on a website or somewhere else and things like that, whether it's your families, friends, colleagues, professors or anybody. We are coming across lots of recommendations being shown to us, which is good. It is not a problem, but it is a good one, guys. But let's take a scenario. Here is Lisa. Lisa likes pizza, Lisa likes white wine, and Lisa likes pasta. Here is John. John also likes pizza. He also likes red wine. He also likes pasta. On a fine day, Lisa, let's say she bought a Sprite. What do? We can start recommending Sprite to John. Why? John, we can say, at a mathematical level is similar to Lisa. What is special about John? John is similar to Lisa because Lisa likes pizza, John likes pizza. Lisa likes wine, John likes wine. Lisa likes pasta, and John likes pasta. So there is a good chance if Lisa likes Sprite, John will like Sprite, is what is the meaning behind it. What is this? This is called recommendation system. Okay, at a slightly deeper level, we call this as collaborative filtering. We're trying to understand the behavior and the activities of one user, and we're trying to compare that user, or we're trying to find all the similar users like Lisa and trying to come up with recommendations. This is called collaborative filtering, guys. In the coming up days, we'll talk a little bit deep, but let's take another scenario. Everybody okay with that example, guys? Can you give me a quick yes, please? Good. Okay, let's take another scenario. Let's say here is John. John, let us say he ordered a book called Strategy Execution Heroes and another book called Big Bang Disruption, another book called Business Strategy. What is special about these three books? These three are management related books. On a fine day, let's say there is a new book coming up. It's called Blue Ocean Strategy. What is that? That is also a management related book. What can we do? Well, now we can start recommending Blue Ocean Strategy to John. Why? Because he's buying all the management related books. This is called content based filtering. Okay, what is content? Based on the content. All these books based on the content of the books. The content of the book says it is management related. We are coming up with recommendation that is called content based filtering, content based recommendation. What's happening today? Today, every business is trying to come up with this kind of recommendation systems. They're trying to understand how to use different kinds of recommendations in different places, in different domains and things like that. It is becoming the heart of the businesses, is what it is, guys. So, in short, recommendation systems are becoming the heart of the businesses is one way to think of it. Quick yes, please. Okay, let's go one step ahead. Take a look at this one. King, Queen and Life. Okay, imagine if someone were to ask you, what is special about King, Queen and Life? What can we say? Well, King and Queen together make life. They live together, they make life is what we can say. Okay, what is that? That is what is called knowledge. What's happening? Never stop learning. What does that mean? What that means is, let's say, come here. Put this here. King. What is king? King is a man, a queen is a woman. What is king to a queen is man to a woman is also what we can say. King minus man plus woman equals to queen. What is this? This is a language of the machines. King and queen together make a life. But what is king? King to a man. What is king to a queen can also be said as man to a woman. What is this? Roger Federer minus tennis plus cricket is Sachin Tendulkar. What is this? This is the language of the machines. What it means is, when we give data to machines, what are they coming up? They're coming up with patterns like this. They're indicating patterns like this. They come up and say Roger Federer minus tennis plus cricket equals to Sachin Tendulkar. What does that mean? Well, what is Roger Federer to tennis is Sachin Tendulkar to cricket. Sachin Tendulkar is Roger Federer of the cricket. Everybody with me, guys. What is that? That is what is called natural language processing. Why is it important? Again, companies want people who know how to work with that kind of techniques is why it is important, guys. Everybody with me? Quick yes, please. One more time. Everybody okay with that example? Okay. Good, guys. Thank you. So today what is happening is there's a big problem. We all have to be as safe as possible. Don't get infected with COVID and things like that. Don't take unnecessary chances. That's a big problem. For a few days, for a few months, we've been all in lockdown. We stayed home. We're in the era of the COVID. And what do we do? Well, stay safe. The problem. So let's say, come back here. Put this here. What is the problem? What is COVID? COVID, the problem. The solution is stay home and you'll be safe, is one way to think of it, guys. That's what we are trying to convey. Imagine we're all staying home trying to stay safe. There is something missing, guys. Okay, it is not really fun. What should we do? Well, you add learning to it. When you add learning to it, what happens? Well, you learn. When you learn, that is, you're investing in knowledge. That is what is the best investment. You're becoming smarter. Data can make you smarter. Learn the techniques. We should try to learn the techniques of how to work with data, guys. Okay? So take a look at this one. Slightly on the lighter side, slightly on the friendlier side. Fear not the man who practiced 10,000 kicks once, but fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. What is the meaning of that, guys? Can any one of you quickly take a shot at it? What does Bruce Lee? What is the gist of that saying? Accuracy. Practice. Very good. Perfection. Very good. Okay. So in other words, practice makes man perfect. The more you practice, the more better it is, and things like that is the gist of it. Slightly on a friendlier side, guys. Okay. So you stay home. You stay safe. You keep learning. When you keep learning, you're doing the best investment. If necessary, if it is required, try to spend a little bit of money, try to learn new things. You're making the best out of life. What is learning? When you're practicing, you're learning. That is one way to think of it, guys. So now let's take another example. Utilizing in practice and practice, guys. Practice is a secret. Practice is everything. Practice makes you perfect. When you practice, you learn. When you learn, the objective of learning is to execute. Imagine a kid. What do kids do, guys? Kids touch water. Kids may touch fire. Imagine, let's take one of you guys. Let's see who we have here. Let's take Lokesh. Hard work is never wasted. Johnson, good one there. Let's take Johnson saying. He says hard work is never wasted, which is a good saying, guys. Imagine Johnson is a kid, and let's say he touches fire. When he touches fire, he learns that your fingers will burn. Let's take another guy here. Let's take Navya. Navya is another kid. Now, what can Navya do? Navya can learn from Johnson's experience that when you touch fire, your fingers will burn. She doesn't have to touch the fire again to learn that your fingers will burn. Okay, what is that? That is learning. What do? Humans learn from experience. What is learning? Learning is life. Why are we all here? The primary reason is learning. What are we doing? That is life. You wake up and you tell yourself, I'm ready to learn. What is it? That is life. If you wake up and you tell yourself, I don't want to learn anything. Okay, what can we do? We can stop talking about it. Let's not go into that kind of thing. Let's wake up and tell ourselves we are ready to learn. What is that? That is life. Everybody with me, guys. Quick yes, please. Do you agree with me? Hard work is your weapon. Very good. Some good thoughts coming out there, guys. Keep it up, guys. So let's go. What's happening is humans learn from experience. So let's see what this means. Come here. Take a look at this. Okay. Humans plus experience equal to learning, which is life. What is learning? Learning is life. What's happening? Humans learn from their experience is what is happening. Machines learn from data. What do? What's happening today? Machine learning. It is the greatest and the latest and the greatest of things. What do? What is experience? Let's do a little bit of cleanup here. What is experience for humans can be said as data for machines. In other words, what is experience is data. What we can do is we can give the data to the machines, and what will happen? Learning will happen. Just like you can make humans learn, we can make machines learn. What do? You give data to them. What is that? That is what is being called as machine learning. So let's take one step deep and try to understand what is machine learning, guys. Okay? You don't need to be a PhD to do data science or machine learning. You don't need to be a mechanical engineer to drive a car. If everybody has to be a mechanical engineer to drive a car, very few people will be driving the cars. Everybody with me, guys. So what's happening? Very few people are there. Few people are there for what? Well, they who have an idea of what is machine learning, what is deep learning. Today, when people are referring to the data science and the artificial intelligence world, they are primarily referring to the machine learning and the deep learning, even though there are other components of that, guys. These are becoming the heart of what. This is the batting and bowling of the artificial intelligence and data science, guys. So what is machine learning? We will try to get a quick feel of it, guys. So take a look at this. Is there anybody among you who does not use YouTube, guys? Who does not use YouTube? Okay, good question. Imagine, I'm sure you all know Shah Rukh Khan. Imagine you go to YouTube, you type in Shah Rukh Khan, YouTube is giving you some recommendations. Can you take a guess what YouTube might recommend if you search for Shah Rukh Khan, guys? Cool. That's a tough question, guys. Padmavati says, hey, it's giving you movies, which is a good answer, but it might give you Salman Khan. What's YouTube doing? YouTube is using machine learning. Okay, everybody who's onto YouTube, they are indirectly using machine learning. You just don't know about it. Imagine, let's see who do we have here. Let's take one of the guys here. Let's take a simple name. Let's take Naresh. Imagine Naresh goes to a store and let's say he purchased bread. He's a customer. Let's take another guy. Let's take Varshika is a supermarket manager. Varshika is watching, sitting there and watching every customer. And now she observed Naresh. Naresh has purchased bread. Can you take a guess what customers who purchase bread may also buy, guys? Jam, milk, butter, very good. Ketchup. Why? Because they weed them together. But gentlemen, ladies, now here comes. Let's take Ramesh. Okay, Ramesh comes in. So back to, I think it was Varshika. Varshika was watching Naresh. He purchased bread and then he purchased jam. Now here comes Ramesh. Ramesh purchased diapers. Can you take a guess? If a customer purchases bread, let's say he purchases jam. Based on that logic, when a customer purchases diaper, what might he or she buy, guys? Can you take a guess? Baby products, milk. Very good, guys. Those are good answers, but gentlemen, ladies, what is happening? It was observed that when customers were purchasing diapers, they were purchasing beer. What is it? That is called finding hidden patterns. Being able to understand that when you purchase diapers, they will buy milk, they will buy baby products is easy to find. But trying to identify a pattern, something like when customers are purchasing diapers, they are purchasing beer, it is not easy to identify. What is that? That is what we call it as knowledge. That is what is data science. It's about finding. That is what is more precisely machine learning doing. Machine learning is helping you find hidden patterns like that. Everybody with me, quick yes please. Do you find that interesting, guys? Good. Let's go one step ahead. I'm sure, is there anybody here? Let me put it like this, guys. How many of you use Google? Can you type in a quick yes? Bunch of yes. Without Google, almost all the programming jobs, all the modern day world jobs are lost. Right, guys? Google is like the little godfather. And there it is. You go to Google, you search anything. What is Google doing? Google is using machine learning. It's using a combination of machine learning and deep learning techniques. You type in Salman, it's predicting. You're about to search. You're about to type in Salman Khan. Okay. And what is this, guys? Google Maps. I'm sure we all can go from work to home, from home to work. We don't need Google Maps. But still, if you're living in cities and things like that, we all use Google Maps. What is Google Maps doing? Google Maps is using machine learning. What's happening? It's identifying the routes dynamically. I'm trying to give you the routes which have less traffic. It's rerouting you at any point of time. What will happen? Well, without Google Maps also we can come home. But with Google Maps, maybe if we come home a few minutes or maybe a few seconds earlier, spending the time with your family, a few seconds or a few minutes is invaluable, guys. Everybody agree with me? Quick yes, please. Spending the time with your family, maybe that's a few seconds or a few minutes, is invaluable. Do you agree with me, guys? Cool. Okay. Good. So what is that, guys? That is Google Maps. That's using machine learning. Tomorrow, I'm sure when you graduate, some of you are probably already searching for jobs. You go to Naukri, you go to Monster, you go to Indeed and things like that. You search for jobs. A lot of jobs are being recommended. What is that? They're using machine learning. You take your smartphone and you're trying to take pictures. What's happening? Your face is being detected. Your eyes are being detected. Your smile is being detected. What is that? That is nothing but the combination of machine learning and deep learning techniques, guys. Machine learning is at the heart of global megatrends and innovations. Today, you take any company which is profiting. What is the heart of it? That is machine learning. Without machine learning, Google is not reality. Without Google, lots of jobs are gone. Uber is not a reality. Ola is not a reality. Your Airbnb, everything at the heart of these companies is machine learning, guys. It is the heart of global megatrends and innovations. All right. So, what is machine learning? Remember the mantra: humans learn from experience, machines learn from data. That is machine learning at a high level, guys. In the coming up days, we'll dig a little bit deep and we'll try to understand a little bit more, guys. So here's my plan, guys. It is right now 8:25, 8:26. What? Pardon me. What my plan is, the next 10-15 minutes, I'm going to continue with a little bit more theory, a little bit more slides. Probably the next 2 to 3 days, I will try to get you familiar with a few examples of machine learning, deep learning, and various other concepts and things like that. And slowly I will get you into the world of Python and give you a touch of, slight code perspectives and things like that, guys. That is going to be my plan. So the last 10 or 15 minutes I'm going to leave. I will leave it for questions and things like that. So just prepare yourself like that, guys. Please do not assume I'm not taking any questions, but we'll keep it for last 10 and 15 minutes. And on a daily basis, we'll continue the same discipline. Everybody okay with that? Quick yes, please. Very good. Keep it up, guys. Thank you. So take a look at this, guys. Let's go one step deep and try to understand what is machine learning. Imagine we have a group of cats and dogs. Here are some dogs, here are some cats. Now what do? Well, imagine we take a kid and we teach him how to, we teach him what is a cat, what is a dog. Tomorrow there's a new animal walking in. And we ask the kid, what is this animal? He can say whether it is a cat or a dog. Okay, so what is that? Let's say in the world of machine learning, these are some of the steps which happen. We have data, we process the data, we visualize the data, then we give it an algorithm. The algorithm will give you a model. From the model, we make a prediction. This is generally the workflow. We will try to understand this workflow in much more detail in the coming up days, guys. Okay. So what that means is, I'll come back to that example in a bit. Let's take another example. Take a look at X and Y. If you closely watch X and Y, think of mathematical relationship that exists between X and Y. We can say Y equals to X. Whatever is X is Y. So Y equals to X is what we can say. So what are we doing? On the left hand side is the data, on the right hand side is an equation. It's a simple equation that we have come up with. Let's take another one. Think of a mathematical relation. If you slightly deeply look at it, notice where X is 1, Y is 2, X is 2, Y is 3. What's happening? We can arrive at something called Y equals to X plus 1. What is happening? Indirectly, your brain is at work. Let's take one more example. Take a look at this. 1 to 10, 2 to 20, what's happening? It looks like Y equals to 10 times X. Okay, let's go one step ahead. Now take a look at this. What is happening? We have increased the number of variables, X1, X2 and Y. If you watch closely, we can observe that Y equals to X1 plus X2. Then take a look at this one. What is the problem here? If we have 100 variables or maybe 1000 variables or columns, what a column is called a variable, like that, and then we have a Y, what happens, guys? Well, it becomes almost impossible for a human brain to solve it. What is this? At a mathematical level, we can say Y equals to a function of X1 to X1000 at a mathematical level. But what can happen? There can be a plus, there can be a minus, there can be a division, or there can be a much more complex relationship which is existing. What is that? That is what is machine learning. When humans fail, bring in the machines. What can you do? You can take such data where humans fail and you can give it to the machines. Machines will come up with that kind of an equation. That is machine learning. What's happening? Machine is going to give you some kind of an equation. That equation is called the model. That model can be used to make a prediction. That prediction could be, you may want to predict tomorrow's weather. You may want to predict if India is going to win tomorrow. You may want to predict the stocks or anything else. What is that? That is machine learning, guys. So there is a cat. And there is a cat. Let's see what else we have. What is a cat, guys? Behind the scenes, the image of a cat can be transformed into a two-dimensional matrix like this. This is a group of rows and columns, a matrix-like thing. And what can we do? Well, the images are complex data. What can you do? This is where humans cannot come up with an equation. It is not possible for humans to look at this and come up with an equation. What do? There can be very, very huge number of variables. What do? That is where we bring in the machines. When humans fail, you bring in the machines. What happens? The machines will come up with that kind of equations, guys. So Everybody okay so far with me? Can you give me a quick yes? Okay, that's a slightly friendly look at it. We'll in the coming up days we'll try to look at a slightly much more deeper and a technical look at it, guys. Let's take one more example. Here's its prediction. The objective of machine learning is to make a prediction. Why should we use machines to make a prediction? Because it is not easy. Humans fail. It can be very, very complex. Humans fail. What do? Bring in the machines. What is prediction? Predicting. You're estimating, you're calculating values based on patterns. Existing values based on patterns in other existing values is the most commonly used application of machine learning in practice. In other words, you can say prediction is where you're estimating. You're doing some kind of calculation is what you can do at a conceptual level, guys. What is input? Input is the data. And what do? We give the data to an algorithm. What will the algorithm do? The algorithm will come up with an equation. That equation is called the model. You can use that model to make a prediction. That is general workflow, guys. Imagine there is one male person, and let's say there are two female persons. Let's say these are customers. They visit an ice cream shop or an ice cream store. What is happening? Imagine we want to predict how much they would be paying, or maybe we want to predict how much they are going to be spending. What do? Well, that is not going to be easy. Okay, but let's take a look at the data. Imagine there was one person who visited an ice cream store and he paid $10 or maybe rupees. Two of them paid 20, four of them paid 40. What is happening? We want to know if three customers visit this ice cream store, how much they might pay. When you look at this one, let's see, can you take a guess what will happen when three? So some of you are already answering yes. It might be 30. Okay, what is happening? There is a 10, which is kind of what is referred as weight. What is it? The column 1, how many people who are visiting the ice cream is what is called the features in a machine learning world. How much they are paying is referred as a label. Okay, for today, think of these things just like a formula, guys. This is a terminology. We'll be going over this terminology in the coming up days. So the first day, just listen and try to get familiar with them. Okay, so how much you spend depends on the number of people. So what is happening? How much you spend depends on the number of people. This is called the dependent variable in a machine learning world. This is called an independent variable, guys. Okay, and what is happening? You take this data, you give it an algorithm, the algorithm is calculating the weight. Now if three people come in, what's happening? Based on the weight, we can say it is $30. What is this? Well, this is easy to say for sake of simplicity. Okay, but what is happening? Exactly similar principles are being used by Google, Facebook, YouTube. When you visit their site, based on the data, based on your clicks and things like that, these websites are predicting what is it you may be interested, what is the ads which are probably relevant to you, and things like that, guys. If you take a look at the banks, they're using exactly similar kind of principles in building fraud detection models. Which transaction is a fraud versus which transaction is not a fraud. If you go to websites such as Amazon, YouTube, they're recommending various kinds of things. What is it? They are exactly using similar kinds of principles and building this kind of products, guys. Everybody okay with me? Can you give me a quick yes? Adding data collection. We'll talk about them, guys. Okay, so now here is another scenario. What's happening? Back to 3. If 3 people visit, that's going to be $30. So what do? We try to make a prediction. You try to prepare the data, that is the data collection, that is the data acquisition. You need the data. If you generally businesses have data. If they don't have data, there are ways, there are strategies. We go to the other websites, we go to other sources. Pardon me, sorry about that, guys. We try to get the data. That is called the data preparation stage or data collection. Then you prepare the data, then we give it to an algorithm, guys. Then what do? Then it gives us a model, and then we make a prediction. This is called the steps of making a prediction. Now let's go a little bit deep. What happened? Well, here is what it is. We want to predict something. Based on the number of customers who are coming in, we want to make a prediction. That is what is the first step. Second step is we are calling some of them as features, some of them as labels. This becomes our data. We're collecting the data. You go to an ice cream shop, you collect this data. Then what do? Ideally, you'll give it to an algorithm. You give the data to an algorithm, it will calculate the weight. Now what do? You will use that. You will try to understand. If 3 customers are coming, they will spend $30. What is this? This is called the steps. The prediction recipe is what we are calling. But let's say, take another scenario. There are 2 adults and 1 children. When there are 2 adults and 1 child which is coming up, we want to make a prediction. What do? Well, collect the data. So notice what is happening. When there is only 1 child who came in, he or she spent $5 or rupees. When there was only 1 adult who came in, they spent $10 or rupees. But when there was 1 child and one adult and 1 child who came in, they spent $15. So what is that? That is existing data. What can we do? We can take the data, pardon me, and give it to an algorithm. What will happen? Well, it will calculate the weights. So what does that mean? Imagine if 2 adults and 1 child now come in. What can we do? We can say they're going to be spending about $25 is what we can do. Everybody with me so far, guys? Can you give me a quick yes, please? Okay, let's go one step deep. Take a look at this one. We can exactly use the same kind of principles. Take a look at this. We have the area of a house, number of bedrooms, number of bathrooms, and distance to the nearest school. And what do we have? The price of the house. The price of a house may depend on the house area. It may depend on the bedrooms, bathrooms, and how far it is away from schools and things like that. We can use similar kind of principles and make a prediction. What is going to be the price of a house is what is another real world or a business example, guys. That is one example. But let's take a little deeper look, guys. Back to the ice cream store or shop. On a fine day, imagine we had a few items in stock. Let's say for the sake of simplicity, we had 3 ice creams. And what's happening? There were actually 6 customers. So what is this? This is called understock. So what happens if you understock? Well, if you have more customers coming in to your ice cream store, and if you don't have stock, the customers may never come back. That's a bad experience for them because they couldn't eat the ice cream. So what might happen? You might lose the sales. If you lose the sales, you may also lose the customer. This is a scenario of understock. Okay. So what can you do? You can predict it. You can predict the demand. On a particular day, if 3 customers came in, on the next day, how many customers might come in? You can predict at a daily basis. You can predict at an hourly basis. And what can you do? You can avoid that scenario. If you make a prediction and the prediction is indicating, then what can you do? You can be ready with more. But what is special about it? Not only it is ice cream. If you go to a supermarket, what can we do? We can predict every product and try to understand which needs to be understocked versus overstocked. What is that? That is what every supermarket is trying to do. They're trying to get into the world of analytics and trying to understand how much they need to stock versus how much they need to overstock and understock and things like that, guys. Everybody with me, guys? Quick yes, please. Okay, let's go one step deep. Take a look at this. Another scenario. Let's say here is the sellers. Again, we have 3 milk, and what is happening? On a fine day, we were only able to sell 1. What does that mean? Well, this is called a scenario of overstocking. If you overstock, what will happen? Well, you're buying a lot of stock, you're spending a lot of money, but not a lot of it is getting sold. What should you do? You can make a prediction. You can use prediction, and you can try to predict what is going to be stock, guys. Let's take another example. Go back to the world of Uber. What do we do? Well, based on the number of customers, we want the number of cars to be available and things like that. The Uber is predicting the supply and the demand. At what time, based on what hour, based on your location, Ubers and Olas are making these predictions. And what is happening here? There are more customers, but the number of cars available are less, is what is happening. So what can happen? Well, at 5 p.m., imagine there are 2 areas. This is area 1, this is area 2. In this area, there are 5 customers, but there are only 2 cars available. In this area, there are 6 cars available, but only 2 customers available. What is that? Well, what can happen is, in this area, because the demand is more and the supply is less, the price will increase. Okay, but what can we do? At 4 p.m., we can make a prediction. At 4 p.m., we can make a prediction, and what can we do? If we are predicting that by 5 p.m. we are expecting a lot more demand, what can we do? We can prepare. We can reroute these taxis here, and what can we do? We can reduce the search price from 2 times to 1.2. That is exactly what the Ubers and Olas are doing, guys. That is at the heart of their business. That's how they're keeping the prices at as optimal as possible and things like that, guys. Okay. In machine learning. So what is all this, guys? All this is about prediction. Behind prediction, how do you make the prediction possible? We're using data. From data, how do you predict? Well, that is what machine learning is doing. In machine learning, we can, at a high level, classify it as supervised versus unsupervised learning, guys. So, what I'm going to do is, let's say, come here. Now, before I go into these slides, further slides and things like that, let me come back here. I want to open up the floor for a few questions, guys. It's question time. I will continue from here tomorrow, but it's time for questions. If you can type in your questions. Is data science used only when there is previous data? What if the firm is new and we need to analyze? Is there any tool? Okay, that's a good question, guys. Short answer, when you have data, we will use machine learning and the concepts of data science and things like that. If you don't have data, you try to acquire the data. You should have a process of data acquisition. Imagine your firm is into predicting if India is going to win or not in the coming up days. It also wants to predict how much score Sachin is going to score versus Virat is going to score. But you don't have any data. What can you do? You can go to crickinfo.org and download the data. You scrape the data. You acquire the data. That is called the data acquisition stage. Manoj? So that is one answer, buddy. It depends on scenario to scenario. Data is everywhere. Prasad says today a lot of people have data. Is there any cause for privacy? Well, we don't have to go into private data. You can download the public data. Prasad, it's not necessary for you to download the private data. Private data will not be available to you. Data science and machine learning. Think of data science, AI as cricket. Okay, at a high level, they are like cricket. Machine learning is the heart. Machine learning is learning how to hit the force. In other words, it is the heart of data science. It's the heart of artificial intelligence. And what is the subtle difference between data science and AI? We'll try to understand that with a few examples in the coming up days, Lokesh. Okay, few more questions. Relation between NLP, natural language processing. Natural language processing is being able to find the patterns in textual data. Generally, the machine learning is going to the numerical data and it is identifying the patterns, and we are able to interpret them as insights. But in the world of natural language processing, we play around with the textual data. You go to Google, you type in how. It's predicting you're about to type how are you, how is it, and things like that. What is that? That is nothing but natural language processing. Being able to do sentiment analysis is also an application of natural language processing in the real world, Nitish. Okay, Nitish? And let's see, inadequate data, how to predict. If you have inadequate data, that's a good question. It depends on scenario. There is nothing like a global answer, Giri. It depends on scenario. As I said, if it is related to cricket, you try to find the source. Imagine you're in an electricity domain. There is electricity stock exchange or something like a stock exchange. Electricity also has a website and where they have where you can download the electricity data. And today, your social media can be treated as one. Social media websites can be treated as one source of collecting the data if you think your data is inadequate, Giri. Okay. Let me see. Scroll up here. Lots of chats coming up here. Is Python enough? Python is one of the most important things, guys. Python is the latest rock star. If you have a little idea of Python, it will be very, very helpful and useful. You don't have to be an expert in that. In the COVID example, the chats are going too quick for me to read here. I wish there was a smaller way. There was a how to find the hidden patterns in the data. Finding the hidden patterns, that's what we will use machine learning, guys. Those are some of the things we'll try to get a touch of it in the coming up days. I cannot make you an expert in a short period, but we'll get a touch of them, guys. Dataset used. Can you teach us any project at the end of this course? I will try to, Ramakrishna. I will try to. That's what is the objective. Is ML a tool? It is a group of algorithms. ML is a group of algorithms. Difference between RPA and AI. RPA is just an automation. It's a group of techniques. I'm sorry. It's like instead of a group of functionalities you're automating without writing code is what is RPA. AI is about machine learning. AI is about learning. Is one quick answer, guys. Yeah, machine learning, and so you can deep learning is a group of advanced algorithms. SAP is not related to this. SAP is totally different, guys. What is, can we, yeah, freshers? Yes, absolutely, freshers can take this, guys. Okay, if you're a fresher, if you have a touch of machine learning and deep learning, companies would love to look at you, because it takes a lot of time, lot of effort, lot of money bringing the employees, training them in these things and trying to bring up the speed. So if you have a chance of going, taking a training and things like that, then you do that, guys. By the time you go to the campus interview, have a touch of machine learning, deep learning on your resumes and things like that. That will be a very, very big advantage, because they know right away that you'll be saving a lot of money for them. Facial recognition is part of the computer vision. We'll see that in coming up days. Let's say difference between, well, technology is increasing. Chats are going too quickly here. Just trying to understand. Say chat. Go back to chat. Okay, I'm not able to take up some of the questions here, guys. Whatever I can read, I'm trying to answer them. Data science and data analytics. Okay, short answer, difference between data science and data analytics is a very, very broad and a general term. When you apply the data analytics to the big data, that is what is being referred as data science, guys. That's one way to think of it. The guys who are coming from mechanical engineering, civil engineering, electronics engineering, any engineering students can also get into the world of AI and data science. You don't necessarily have to come from a programming background or a computer science background, guys. Okay, there are a lot of scenarios. Everybody today is trying to understand how to use in their companies, whether you're in mechanical or civil or any other things. Data science, which is better? Data science, data science or analytics are kind of broad terms. Analytics is a bit more broader term. And so analytics is like saying cricket. Data science is like playing cricket in a stadium. Both of them are cricket, both of them are analytics, guys. Data science is more of a modern term. Prerequisites, generally a little bit of Python would be a prerequisite. Any programming would be a prerequisite, but if you don't have any programming, generally there are, as part of the courses and things like that, they will also teach you that one as part of the course, guys. Is it difficult? It's up to you, guys. Imagine you want to learn cricket. If you think it is difficult, it is difficult. But if you're interested, you can learn it. Okay, the secret is practice. If you practice, you can learn anything, guys. That's what our saying from Bruce Lee says. The more you practice, okay, I'm going to turn on my video here. Hope you can see me. Oh, there you go. Okay, for a few minutes, again, I'm showing up myself because I'm almost coming to the end of it. Timings. On a daily basis, we'll try to keep it from 7:30 to 8:40, 8:45. And the last 10-15 minutes, I will keep it for a few questions, guys. Algorithms. Which type of algorithms? So you have supervised learning, unsupervised learning, reinforcement learning. These are the different kinds of machine learning and each one has a group of algorithms related to them based on the problem that you're facing or the problem that you're trying to solve, guys. Okay. Should we learn any maths? No. Again, you don't have to be an expert in statistics or mathematics. Generally, I will give you a touch of statistics and mathematical concepts here. but you don't have to be an expert. You have to have a touch of them. You need to be aware of some of the main terms, terminologies, the statistical thinking, but you don't have to be an expert in statistics, guys. Okay. If you're in first year, it's a good thing. If you're interested, you can definitely, get familiar with AI and ML, and the way you will think, the way you will see the world. Once you get familiar with this kind of technologies, will be much more advanced. It will help you and look at the world in a much more advanced, and it will be useful for you. Yeah, I'm coming, guys. Tomorrow I will touch a little bit of AI. Today I focused a little bit on data science and machine learning theory. Tomorrow I'll be touching AI, guys. So let's not hurry too much. We'll try to talk a little bit and try to understand how it is used in real world and so on. Can a BSc guy? Yeah, you can definitely. BSc mathematics, it will be helpful to you. Yes, if you're into BSc mathematics also, it is useful, it will be helpful. Since you're already into the world of mathematics, you will have a mathematical thinking, which will be helpful for you. Okay. Computer vision, yes, computer vision is also part of, today the AI and ML, which is being taught all over the world. Certificate is important, guys. Imagine if you want to learn cricket, your certificate is important, but more important is batting and bowling. If you have an idea how to work with machine learning and deep learning algorithms, that is very, very important. Important is having a certificate, but very important is, learning those things. Ensemble techniques, those are slightly advanced techniques, Lakshman. And it is too early for me to talk. Probably a lot of guys will get confused if I start talking about ensemble. But in the coming up days, I'm going to be talking about it. NumPy, Pandas, we're going to touch them as part of this sessions. And yes, in the coming up days, I will be sharing once I reach a stage where I have a few of the slides and things like that, which are completed. BCom, yes. Again, even if you're coming from a BCom, you can definitely get in. I would say just learn a little bit of Python and be there. And it will be helpful for you. It will become more easy. A few little bit of basic programming in Python would be helpful, even if you're coming from a BCom or any other. Here, due to the time constraints, we will not go too much into Python, but I'll just give you some high level look at Python, machine learning, and deep learning techniques in the coming updates, guys. Course plan, yes, we'll try to pass it on. I think they're posting a link. Okay, looks like there's a feedback link also coming, guys. And guys, today's session, has it been helpful, useful? Can you give me a quick yes? Good, guys, good to know. I couldn't take up all your questions, but bear with me, and we'll try to dig a little bit deep in a similar way in the coming up days. I will not make you a Bruce Lee of Kung Fu here, but I will give you a quick touch of, how things work, and try to give you a bit more overview and see if I can motivate you to go into the world of AI, guys. Okay. So again, at a personal level, guys, definitely give a positive look at AI and courses such as data science. They're going to be very, very helpful, very, very useful. I'm probably going to be talking about this tomorrow, but you must definitely look into these things, and because the future is going to be AI. Probably I'll be talking about it tomorrow, guys. Okay, but I just want to say it in case you are seriously looking at it. It will be very, very helpful. WhatsApp group, I think our team the AP skill development, they will be handling it. That is slightly beyond my control, guys. I will pass on your messages. I'm sure they are looking at your messages and things like that. Okay, so gentlemen, ladies, for today I'll stop it here, and we'll continue our journey from tomorrow, 7:30 roughly. We're going to be there, and we'll be continuing this. Okay, so with that, I wish you all guys good luck, and you guys take care, stay safe, keep learning, guys. Okay, remember, practice is important, so just keep that in mind in a friendly way. And more importantly, stay safe. It looks like the COVID wave 2 is going on, so just be as safe as possible. Don't risk yourself and things like that. With that, Manasa,
Thank you,
I'm
sir.
going to be signing off. Anything you'd like to?
Yes, sir. Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you,
Thank
guys.
you
Everybody,
so
please
much
take care.
for answering many questions very patiently. And one more thing is, I have shared the feedback link in the chat box. So everybody, please fill it. And if you have any more questions, you can.
Manasa, are you there?
Yes, sir. Am I audible?
Thank you, guys. Take care. Huh?
Sir, am I audible? Hello. Hello. Can anybody hear me? Yeah. Thank you. So in that feedback form, you have a option like additional comments. So if you have any more doubts, you could post it there. So we'll share the same to the resource person. I'm sharing the link again in the chat box. Please fill it. Your attendance will be considered based on that. Every day at the end of the session, we'll share the feedback form link. So the session is completed. If you may leave now.